This lesson is on the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. The goal is to solve right-angle problems using the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. And the standard is geometry, similarity, right triangles, trig number 8, and geometry, similarity, right triangles, and trig number 4. Now you're going to think this lesson is a whole lot like the Pythagorean theorem lesson, the one we did before this, but there's just a little bit of difference. But what I want you to understand by the end of this lesson is if you know the lengths of any two sides of a triangle, you can determine if it is a right triangle by using the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. Notice it doesn't say you're going to find the third leg or the hypotenuse. You're going to decide whether or not it is a right triangle. So where do you think you are on the scale? 1, 2, 3, or 4. Write the number at the top of your notes right now and get ready to watch the rest of the video. All right, here's the theorem, the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. It says, if the sum of the squares of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle is equal to the square of the length of the third side, then the triangle is a right triangle. So it's just like a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Or if you add the square of the legs together, that equals the square of the hypotenuse. But you're going to, again, all you're going to decide is whether or not these three sides are a right triangle. Okay, here's the problem. A triangle has sides with lengths of 10 yards, 10 yards, and 16 yards. Is it a right triangle? So all we have to do is take the two legs, which are 10 yards and 10 yards, and square them, add them together, and see if it equals the square of that third side, which is 16 yards. So my two sides are 10 squared. And 10 squared is 100. And 100 plus 100 equals 200. And 16 squared equals 256. Well, 200 does not equal 256, so the answer here is no, this is not a right triangle. If when I added them together and got 200, and that third side that they gave me did, when I squared it, if it equaled 200, then that would be a right triangle. But since 200 does not equal 256, it is not a right triangle. Here's your first one. A triangle has sides of 12 centimeters, 16 centimeters, and 20 centimeters. Is it a right triangle? Practice 2. A triangle has sides with lengths of 6 inches, 14 inches, and 19 inches. Is it a right triangle? Practice 3. A triangle has side lengths with lengths of 40 millimeters, 75 millimeters, and 85 millimeters. Is it a right triangle? Okay, here's your next problem. A triangle has sides with lengths of 77 miles, 83 miles, and 36 miles. Is it a right triangle? Now, the only thing you need to be careful of here, and the only difference is the numbers aren't in order. So remember, you have to take the two smallest numbers because those are the sides of the triangles or the legs of the triangles. The longest side is always the hypotenuse. So we have 36 squared and 77 squared. Those are our smaller sides. All right, 36 squared is 1,296. 77 squared is 5,929. When I add them together, I get 7,225. When I square 83, I get 6,889. Once again, the two numbers are not equal, therefore, that is not a right triangle. Your practice 4. A triangle has sides with lengths of 70 kilometers, 74 kilometers, and 24 kilometers. Is it a right triangle? Remember, put the sides in order before you solve it. Practice 5. A triangle has sides with lengths of 18 meters, 24 meters, and 30 meters. Is it a right triangle? So after watching this, where are you on this scale on the converse of the Pythagorean theorem? A 1, 2, 3, or 4. Put this number at the end of your notes. And get ready to do your lesson. That's at the end of this lesson. Good luck on your assignment in IXL.